Detective Ruby Wolf was assigned to my case. Ruby was, excuse me. Ruby was the only one who really believed me and patiently listened to my whole unbelievable story. Her deep passion for justice is outstanding and should be noted. She and 9 other detectives raided Courtney's office and home and seized his computers and files. Ruby sometimes worked late at night on the case, tracking down many out-of-state key witnesses in order to present a strong case for the prosecution in support of me. Diane was doing fine in senior daycare, answering all the trivia questions, but had closed her mind to the movies. She said they don't exist anymore and continued to ask, when will we move into our mobile home? Diane knew I was under tremendous stress, and my stress was her stress. I had had several mild heart attacks, wound up in ER, and was under care of a cardiologist and 9 different medications to help my chest pains, lower my blood pressure, and to help tolerate the pain in the pit of my stomach. One Sunday, I thought I was losing it. I was pacing the floor, pounding on the table, singing, yelling, and doing anything I could to hold control. Diane was crying, following me around, asking, what can I do for you? Tell me, how can I help you? She felt my pain, and she could have been injured even more. I called 911. Deputy Sheriff Honeycutt came, had someone stay with Diane, and drove me to ER, where they brought my blood pressure down. At the end of each day, after the van would drop Diane off at our condo, Diane would have my undivided attention for the rest of the day. She had the choice of looking at 4 walls, watching TV, or going to bed. Her vast garden and orchard used to be her passion. From sunup to sundown, now destroyed, gone. Week after week, Diane was attending senior daycare, and I was in court, or preparing for court trial. One delay after another, Diane still stretched out, confused, under tremendous stress, trying to understand why Courtney had our $125,000 and we can't move into our mobile home in Buellton. January 24th, 2006, I received a call from Cindy at daycare. She said that Diane had fainted. When I got there, I saw the ambulance. Diane on a gurney and medics continuing with shock pads. We followed the ambulance with red lights flashing and Cindy and I crying. A doctor came out of ER. We did everything we could. She's gone. I never had a chance to say goodbye.
I sent an email to the Legion confirming my client agreed to that. There are always matters which are never discussed. And one of those matters that has not been discussed here today is the fact that the county jail in which I've been incarcerated is designed to hold 800 inmates, and it currently houses over 1,300.
Second thought, hoping we give you second thoughts today. What you just saw in the courtroom of Judge Arthur Garcia is what I would call a nice push for justice, but they didn't really want to stick it to the convicted criminal, the officer of the court, because you know all attorneys and judges are considered officers of the court. And Mr. Rex Phillips is sitting with us here in the studio live today, Friday. And what I want you to get out of this is a deeper understanding how this man and his now dead wife were bamboozled out of nearly everything they had, almost everything they had. Rex, do you feel that Courtney got a real tough sentence with what, 3 + 1, maybe 5 years?
No, I asked for 20 years, but the judge didn't listen to me.
He didn't care you lost your $1 million home, did he?
No, no. They didn't even want me to talk about it.
Wasn't that amazing?
Yes. I've been in court for 10 years on one case, this case, for 10 years. And I have never been able to tell my story, that how my house was taken.
Well, now's your chance, because Judge Garcia, our second in charge of the Santa Barbara judicial system, wouldn't let you. But I'm going to give you what the judge, who gets paid to listen to you, wouldn't let you. Tell us how Allen, Weatherford, Courtney, and these other attorneys bamboozled you. We don't have 3 days, but tell us how this came about. How'd you lose it? And the stress killed your wife.
Yes, that's true. All right. It started with my wife's 2 sons from a previous marriage that are felons and dealt in drugs and been convicted a number of times in and out of prison, brought a lawsuit against us. And the lawsuit was a bogus lawsuit, stated that we promised to defend against a lawsuit that David Hyman had brought against the 2 sons, and that we promised that we would sell our commercial property in Tarzana and give them all the proceeds from that sale. The only problem with that is David Hyman never brought any lawsuit against the DeLugis. It never existed. And we never promised to give them any proceeds from any sale that we had. So we got to court, and the judge down in Alhambra took, and Alan Courtney was one of our witnesses. That's how he got into it. The judge put the 2 convicts on. They told all these lies, made up stories, no proof, and didn't offer any evidence.
So even though they weren't being sued, they just still wanted you to give them the money. Was that the bottom of that?
Oh, they were claiming they were sued, and they weren't.
Yeah, they were not sued, but they still wanted you to give them the money
from the sale of our commercial property, yes.
For the suit that never happened.
Yeah, for the one that didn't exist. Yeah, all verbal, all hearsay.
Now, what did Alan Courtney testify?
Wait.
Okay.
The judge then took and sent all of our witnesses home. Wouldn't let them testify, and Alan Courtney was one of the witnesses that got sent home. Then the judge went on vacation in the middle of the trial and turned the trial over to Irwin, the criminal's attorney, the bogus attorney, the crooked attorney. And he wrote a check out that the jury said that we should pay $1,543,000. Outrageous, unbelievable.
Who should pay $1 million?
Diane and I.
To who?
To the DeLugis, to these 2 sons that lied.
Her sons from a former marriage.
From a former marriage, yes.
I swear, you should never marry a divorced woman. Hey, that was a painful lesson you learned.
No, I'd marry her under any circumstances.
She was wonderful to you, huh?
Yes, she was beautiful, too.
But she had these 2 kids that were criminals.
Yeah, they were insane, really. So in any event, we wanted to file an appeal, and Courtney then took over and said, don't file an appeal. We had put our property in Phillips family partnership. We, by deeded it over there back in 1999, before all this started. So he said, don't do that. Take and put your the Phillips family partnership, the general partnership, into his corporation, which was Knightsbridge. He said, in reality, there was no Knightsbridge. It goes on where there are no corporations or anything else, but there was no Knightsbridge.
That's what you said in court.
Yes. And so he took our property away from us, and we believed that it was protected because it was in his corporation. He forged corporation papers.
Courtney did.
Courtney did.
Allen Weatherford Courtney.
That's right.